you make a motion to be put on the table?
Yes, I did.
Would you restate it so Mr. Boyce can get it down?
A motion to begin the process of finding new representation as soon as possible.
Okay. We'll take a vote to put that on the agenda. Right. I need a seconder for the purpose of putting that motion on the agenda.
Before you do that, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Point of order or whatever Robert said it is. The attorneys are now employed until when?
The end of this calendar year, December 31st.
December 31st.
Actually, I believe it's after the will of the board. December 31st.
December 31st.
Do I have a seconder on Mr. Hochberg's motion, at least to put it on the agenda?
Second.
I'll second it.
All right, I have a second from Mrs. Sotera. Vote to put it on the agenda. Mr. Boyce?
I believe it's now on the first and second. Now there would be comments and then the vote on whether or not it passes.
Okay, we don't have to vote to put it on the agenda first?
No.
Okay.
A motion from the floor does that.
Cool enough. Discussion on what we'll call K8. Is that where it fits? I don't know where it fits. There were no J's. Let's call it a J.
L. Administration is doing L.
Okay. Discussion on L. Would it be 8? Would it be 8? Whatever. Before we discuss Mr. Hochberg's motion to start the process of getting new representation.
Do we send out a
That just means we're sending out an RFP, right? It would be the motion. Doesn't mean that we could just start interviewing and even at that point include the law firm that we already have. Just my understanding, we can just send out an RFP for law firms that are interested. Just starting the process doesn't mean that the law firm's going to leave immediately. It just means we're going to send the process out to look for a new one.
Correct. Yes, that's my understanding.
or review it first?
I thought we did this already. We did it already, and you're missing board members here. Is it fair without board members here?
Yes, it is.
That's right.
Well, not my fault.
I thought we did this already, when we decided that we were going to extend to the end of the year.
No, we
And at that point, we were going to take it up.
Well, Mr. Hochberg brought up a motion, Mrs. Sotera seconded it. It's on the agenda.
And I'm basing my recommendation on last meeting.
But, you know, what happened last meeting?
Rather than preventing Mr. Wazza from his tirade and, in my opinion, a verbal threat to Mr. Soronik, he allowed that to happen. But he'll prevent somebody from speaking the other way very quickly, and that's not right. It should work both ways.
Let me just respond to your characterizations. I was not happy that the superintendent got upset. But I never heard a threat, okay? What I recall was, when I'm no longer superintendent, you and I will have a conversation. A conversation that would be inappropriate while somebody's a superintendent, but as a private citizen, they can have whatever private conversation they want. I never heard a threat. And if your motion is based on somebody's failure to quell a threat, then I think your motion is out of order, because I didn't hear it. That's my view.
Well, that's your perception of what happened. That's not mine.
I would like to say something. Since this board is accused so many times of being two-faced and lying and giving misinterpretations and misrepresentation, I gave my comment that the law firm would be here until the end of the year.
Right.
So I'm not going back on my word. That doesn't mean that I won't make a different decision on the end of the year.
You need to start the process though at some point.
Further discussion on the motion? All right. Mr. Boyce, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bruno?
No.
Mr. Hochberg?
Yes.
Mrs. Lavin?
I need clarification. All we're doing is sending out, we're not terminating their position as our attorney before December 31st, right? Isn't...
Right, and it's just to search for someone, which should take a process also.
All right, and you should ask the person who made...
No, we're asking them.
No, but that wasn't Barry's interpretation. Barry's interpretation is to get rid of them, right?
No, Barry's interpretation is to start the process.
Interpretation is just to start the search.
process.
If we find a firm before the end of the year, then sure, by all means, we can
Oh,
change it.
no, I have to
If not,
say
then
no.
fine.
No, we voted. I voted.
Mr.
I voted
Moses?
at the end of
No.
December.
Mr. Plasatella?
No.
Mrs. Sutera?
Yes.
Mr. Lawson?
No.
Hang on. Majority of those
You call, I don't call.
I'm not hiding from anyone. But that's what he's saying.
But I
I want a clarification.
My interpretation is looking for somebody new, that's all.
That's not his opinion.
Even if it's not gonna take 1 month to find out. So why can't we start now? That's all I'm saying.
That's not...
I'm not saying I'm getting rid of them now, no. But
He is.
I'm saying you can start looking now. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying you got too much else to do.
What? But if you haven't already, then it's makes it easy, you can look for it. I think
That motion is defeated. Let me, anybody else new business before I get on with what I've got to do in new business? No, thank you. Let me see. We've got an ongoing committee, which I was questioned about earlier, the expulsion committee, and my understanding is that Mrs. Sutera, Mr. Moses, and is it Mrs. Latin? Expulsion? Who else is on?
Mr. Kayazin.
Oh, Tom, right. Tom wants to continue also? You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, at least for the time being, Mrs. Sutera, Mr. Moses will be back on the expulsion committee. Does anyone want to volunteer to be our representative and our alternate representative to New Jersey school boards? Absent a volunteer, I'll have to appoint someone, so I'll go ahead with that process by our next meeting. We've got several committees coming up. Finance, as did last year, policy, community relations, and for lack of a better term, reorganization, consolidation, and shared services. I'm
By the
asking,
way, what are we going to consolidate?
we don't know.
I don't think there's anything left.
Well, we may have to create something to consolidate, and that may be the point of the committee. I will ask Mr. Court to make sure that something gets on the website regarding finance, policy, community relations, and reorg/consolidation/shared services. Also to the board members, there will be board members on each committee, so please get back to me with a first and second choice by next meeting. Again, finance, policy, community relations, and reorg, consolidation, and so on. If members of the public are interested in any of those committees, please address a note to Mr. Quirk, and he will keep everybody's name on file. By next meeting, I'll be filling out the committee.